Hey guys, this is Alex with CG Magazine, and we're playing Starbound. This is, as you can see in the corner, a early access kind of game. It's in its beta stage right now, so there's a lot of features that don't exist. If you've ever played Terraria, this is pretty much the same kind of game, a 2D, sort of a 2D pixelated game where you go around building things, exploring this 2D world, digging down into a planet, building buildings, and getting killed by the wildlife, which is always fun. And this is a little game I picked up for early access on Steam. It's by, I believe, Enraged Koala, because, you know, that's a great name for a company. And since it's early access, I don't know how the multiplayer works yet, so I just tried single player here. And just as another note, I'm not actually controlling the game right now while I'm talking. This is I recorded my voiceover afterwards. It just didn't seem to work at the time, and we just put a better voice, hopefully a better voiceover this time. So I'm going to be commenting on a lot of my idiocy, and we'll get into character creation here. Got a human, bird person, create your little monkey man, the damn dirty apes. Let's see, we got a flower person here. And I like the little touches with some of the genders. That's a fish person and robot person, as usual. And I like the little touch with the gender where it changes with the flower and the robot, where it just shows a different symbol other than the male and female. And just randomly creating a character to show this off. Now I got this game, I think, a few months ago. It was a pretty fun game. Like, right now it's like games like Minecraft or whatnot. It's just messing around, building stuff on your own, pretty much playing Legos but with a computer game. Like, just building stuff because you can, and letting the world tear you down and tear it down. So we got a little bit of plot here so far. Apparently we hijacked a mini Nog ship. I don't know what a mini Nog is, but it's probably big and oppressive. So we have to sort of search around here for our little matter manipulator. Just a little handheld thing that lets us manipulate the world. And this is me messing around with the controls because, like a smart person, I didn't actually check to see what all the buttons do. So I just kind of do this by trial and error, trying to figure it out here. Man, I just blunder around with this. And the first thing you do with the tutorial, which is about, I think, the only thing they have now, is you got to find fuel. And it just teaches you how to build things, teaches you how to build the means to mine, and you have to mine coal to fuel your spaceship, because apparently spaceships run on coal. I guess when you have future tech, you can actually edit matter, and you can just reduce any sort of raw fuel material into super fuel or whatever kind of nuclear stuff. So I don't know. I didn't go to the science element. I didn't go to the science side of the educational spectrum. So, getting my flashlight, getting my matter manipulator. You have a little bit of stats there that show you, like, your health and your stamina. And I really hope they blur out those messages on my Steam, but well, we'll have to see how that works. Anyway, just me trying to figure out how to teleport down. I think at this point I figure out you have to press the E key. You press the, as you can see up there, the left mouse button swings your sword. You can press whatever key you press along the 10-slot quick bar equips that weapon, and you just use the left button to do it. And we're on the planet. This is a nice little forest planet, so it's a very temperate, very accommodating environment. It's got its grasses, it's got its trees, which will get our first resource, wood. Now, you probably experienced this before, just cutting things down, and it's taken quite a while with this little matter manipulator, which can do pretty much anything in terms of mining, but it does it terribly. Like, you really need specialized tools, because apparently pickaxes and regular axes do a way better job than all-purpose matter alteration devices. Alright, looking at our crafting table. Gotta craft all that wood. Gotta make, gotta craft the crafting tables, gotta do the meta. Let's take a look. We see our little monsters hopping around there. We got our wildlife. Some of them are very friendly, and I kind of skipped by it there, sorry, but our next goal is to kill a couple of those things and take their meat. take their meat, just surviving on this nice purple-treed planet. Alright. You know, I kind of enjoyed things like Minecraft and whatnot, but the problem with these kind of games, I find, is that, especially when you're playing single-player, you get bored eventually. I really like the idea... You really kind of have to have someone else to do to mess around with. And the big problem with... But the big other problem with multiplayer games of that is that when you have somebody to mess around with, they're just going to break your stuff. Like, somebody's just going to walk in, seal you in, fill your place with lava, you know, trolling. Just trolling everything. So, it's a game that requires social interaction, but because people are terrible, you're not going to want to perform social interaction. So, imagine me building a house in this game. You can build your houses, you can build your little fortresses, you can build whatever you want, but if somebody else were around, they can go around the galaxy, finding the different planets, and just show up and just steal all your stuff, break all your stuff, kill you a few times, and then wander off to, I don't know, construct certain parts of your anatomy I won't mention. But there I am. I've got my plant fibers, which let me build my hunting bow. So, well on the way to being stranded on this very lush but not quite desolate rock. So we're pretty much cast away here right now. Just trying to find some fuel, but apparently when I was playing this, I just kind of was messing around with it, just jumping around, probably just battering onto myself, very much like now. I'm trying to remember how to play this game, because it's actually been about, I don't know, a month since I last tried this game. Looks like it hasn't changed all that much right now. I mean, that's the thing with a lot of early access games, is you're always waiting for them to actually complete some of the elements of it, like putting in, say, like the actual items you can build, more stuff, and that's new. Oh yeah, apparently there's an anchor that goes up into the sky, and I have absolutely no idea what it is connected to. I suppose it's connected to my ship. I'm not sure how I was supposed to get up there. I don't have a jetpack or anything. That's a little bit of a mystery. Let's just hop around that for a second and look at our inventory, try to solve a problem. I guess I could have just built a ladder going up there, or just built a series of platforms, see how high I could go. But I didn't think of that at the time. You know, hindsight, right? Let's take a look here, what else we can build. All the little elements of building a little wood house. There's the stone pick that I will eventually have needed if I wanted to mine anything. Apparently I'm too lazy to actually try to mine it with the matter manipulator, so going off into a little bit of different part of the biome. Now the ground is considerably more purple and alien. Jumping around a little bit. Going around building a few things. Trying to build a few things. Okay, apparently in there I want the gold. Like that down there looks... Yeah, that's gold. And, you know, gold being a mineral that pretty much exists entirely to represent wealth. It doesn't really do much else in this game. It's mostly just for building some of the higher end fine technology, which, you know, might be true to life. I'm not entirely sure, but in this game you do need it for eventual stuff. And there's the coal, and there's me trying to get at the coal with the basic mining equipment, and it's not really going all that fast. But no, that's the stuff you need. That's the stuff you need to get off this rock and move on to another planet. And there's a lot of planets in the game right now. Every solar system's got a few. You got the airless moon. You got the moons. Like you don't asphyxiate on moons or whatnot, but usually because they're supposed to have not very much atmosphere, they're extremely cold. So you'll come pretty close to freezing to death most times. You can find desert planets. You can find planets with tentacle trees for some reason. And, there's my first encounter with the wildlife. Now, those things don't like you. They want to kill you. And there's a couple other things that do like you. And, oh, man, I'm just getting really ripped up here. Oh, man, look at me. I got some money off of them, which is nice. But I really wanted their meat, which, unfortunately, you can't actually get just by hitting them with a sword or another personal combat weapon. You actually need to use a bow and arrow to actually get things like meat or leather. And I don't know, I think that's a little silly. I mean, just the idea that you have to use a bow and arrow to get a specific material out of them. Like, what happens to the meat? Where does it go? Is it ruined by using a longsword on it? That doesn't make any sense. I guess that's the mechanic of it, so... Alright, gonna try hunting those guys who are completely non-hostile. Like, not everything is hostile. Some of them are just some of them are just minding their own business, and you hunt them for sport. You hunt them for meat or for sport. I got my raw alien meat. Gonna eat those alien proteins and probably supposedly die from it, because, you know, if you were to eat actual, like, animal matter from another planet, it probably would be extremely toxic to you. I mean, pretty much everything here evolved in the same ecosystem, so there's a decent chance that at least some of it's going to be edible, but when you've got an alien planet, it could be completely off the wall. So I'm not entirely sure with it, but, you know, space opera, exploration game, doesn't have to be realistic. Alright, so I built a campfire there, and Matter Manipulator lets you place it pretty much wherever. It's basically a little portable telekinetic device, and I'm just going to use that to, once I figure out remember how the control scheme works, I'm going to probably use that to cook a bit. Yep, I'm very proud of myself at this point. Not going to die of starvation and exposure here. Probably just going to die from something eating me. And, just going to eat. Just, come on, eat the meat. I know you're not hungry, and yeah, you got the little hunger meter down there, which eventually goes down, and once it gets down far enough, you start taking damage. Pretty simple. You'll end up having stuff like that if you go deep underground, where you'll end up getting things will start getting really hot or really cold, and, you know, I really should have just built an axe, like, just actually not gotten impatient, built a stone axe and a stone pickaxe, and the game would start going much faster. Like, it starts off a bit slow because you pretty much just have to chip things down with your bare hands. Like, I mean, you got Minecraft, where the first thing you do is you punch a tree until it gives you wood. Until, yeah, you know what I mean. And, gonna just, shoot another monster here. Because shooting something at point blank with a bow and arrow is such a great idea. I really kind of wish I bothered to dig just straight down here, because you find a lot of cool stuff when you go far deep now. You start finding all this weird stuff. Like, I once went down there and I found, like, all these mini houses. That was a cool little experience. And imagine that there's hundreds of planets like that in this game. Like, you pretty much just go through it and you can explore all these hundreds of different sort of procedurally generated planets. You've got some that actually are inhabited, have little towns in them, and you can buy stuff in the towns. You can do what I do and just take out all the denizens and loot the place of all the different stuff and use it to build your own places. And swim around. I don't know if you guys can hear it there, but this game has amazing music, and the music is just very atmospheric, and just very atmospheric, beautiful music. And when you go underwater, it actually gets muted. So, I don't know if you guys can hear that. I'm sorry if you can't, but it's a really good music. It's a really good atmospheric score. I just am very impressed with it overall, and I'm actually impressed with the graphics especially of me dying. And this is pretty much what happens when you die. This is their justification for how you respawn. So you just basically show up in a tube and you get cooked up, and your clone shows up all fine and back on your ship. And you're also this sets you back at maximum food, so you're pretty much like, yeah, I'm full at this point. So that's pretty good way of handling it. You usually lose a bit of the money. It's up in the corner there, and you pretty much use money to build. Like, you actually do use money to build things. Like, certain things do cost money to build. You can trade with villages you find, and you can. There's also, like, things like temples and whatnot that you can raid that have hostile enemies in it. It's pretty cool. Right now, it's all just sort of procedurally generated. There's not a lot to do with it besides just mess around and fly from planet to planet exploring. But, you know, we've proven that games like that do work. Like, you can just goof around, explore randomly explorable terrains. It doesn't have to have like this really heavily, meticulously crafted world to actually be entertaining. And alright, just gonna walk around with my flashlight here. Now remember what I was trying to do here was I was trying to find a way down deep into the earth, because, you know, there's a lot of caverns down there, and on this planet it seems like there isn't very much. Now I did find, here's one of the procedurally generated things. You have a little settlement here, a couple crates of fire, and someone's little cage. And, you know, that kind of thing happens. First time I ever played this, I found a tent with a bunch of guys with sniper rifles, and they started to kill me. So I chopped them up, took their tent, and left, as is expected of someone trying to survive in the wilderness. And I think I just killed somebody's randomly generated dog. It's an unfortunate thing. Now, at least in the multiplayer, you'll have other people on various planets. So you'll be exploring around planets, and you'll actually be finding stuff that people's built on different planets. So it gives you a huge area to actually explore. And the way they handle difficulty is you need to eventually get enough resources to build coordinates to the next sector, which is just another section of solar systems which has more difficult enemies, better resources. And there's me just trying to jump up a straight line. You jump pretty high in this. Now I'm just kind of looking around, kind of trying to find if there's any more settlements. It isn't usually on the first planet you have. Usually have to kind of explore around, but you'll find all this cool stuff. So far I'm actually pretty happy with this game. Like, it's as early access games go, as something that's like, I think, $12. It's actually pretty fun to dance around and try to explore the various different planets. It's a nice little thing to do while you're kind of just relaxing. And it has really relaxing music. Despite things like this, you tend to actually have a good experience. Now, I'm thinking here that I'm thinking here that we're gonna leave it. Like, I've just died like 2 times. I've pretty much shown a good first few minutes of the game, so it's kind of a fun little experience for me. I recommend you go out and you check it. It's, like I said, it's early access, so if you do buy it, like, there's a lot of features that don't exist. It's not a complete game. It's buggy. It can be buggy. I didn't see any bugs here, but occasionally you get stuff where it just doesn't load properly or whatnot. And I actually kind of recommend this as something to look at. Anyway, we're pretty much coming to the end right now, so I'm gonna sign off. This is Alex Leach with CG Magazine, and I'm glad you clicked on this video, and I hope you'll check on some of the future videos when we go through other games. Thank you.